Fitness had always been about being healthy and fit. Yet, lately, this is not what the fitness industry is about anymore. Just like most things, it began to turn into this money-making machine, trying to get as many views and financial gain as possible, at the detriment of people's health and fitness, which destroys the whole point of it. From people making 10,000 calorie challenges for clicks and views.
Alright, so the day is finally upon us.
The 10,000 calorie challenge.
So for today's video, me and Harrison are going to be attempting the 10,000 calorie challenge.
To people abusing more and more drugs in order to keep staying relevant and important in such a hyper-competitive industry.
This is something that's been on my mind for a very, very long time.
In today's video, I'm going to be going over my personal experience with using tren.
How many people are using steroids?
In the UK alone, they estimate around, if not more than, 1 million people using steroids of some form regularly. And in the US, it's estimated between 3 and 4 million.
The definition of fitness has shifted tremendously. We now have a completely skewed perception of fitness, making us believe that this or this is what fitness looks like, while in reality, it looks more like this or this.
If you search Google for the perfect male physique, something interesting shows up. The same for men's health.
It begs the question, what exactly happened and where did it go wrong? Well, to understand where it all began, you and I need to go back a few years in the past. When in the late 2000s social media really began to grow, it seemed to have a fantastic potential at first, but in turn had a detrimental effect on our perception of the world and what we deem to be normal. We now begin to view Instagram models as an expectation for what our own partner should look like and what we should look like, or we view fitness models as the ideal body people should strive for, no matter the cost of it. Due to its hyper-competitive nature, it is natural for only the elite to come on top, while the people just below that are left behind. This is the most common reasons for the unreasonable standards that we put on ourselves and the people around us, and it is a trend often occurring with younger generations. It's not uncommon to see data reporting teens spending up to 9 hours a day online, with a majority of it being on social media, and it's when viewing things on a daily basis that they become normal and average to us. This is why these days we tend to view extremes to be so normal. More specifically, in the fitness niche, we view these physiques as the epitome of masculinity, which are all unattainable without medical assistance.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, let's at least say the rare 99.999999% of freaks that could look like this natural.
What was considered incredibly good shape a few decades ago is considered as nothing impressive today.
We view it as a norm to attain, a standard to achieve, and it becomes what we deem to be normal. That is when an opportunity opens up for influencers on social media. To appeal and relate to that audience wanting to look like them, many never admit or simply lie about their use of PEDs, otherwise known as fake natties.
6% body fat and tall and thinner, he's lifting world champion level lifts. It's overwhelming, the chances that it's not really true that he would be natural. Gynecomastia, ridiculously strong, incredibly shredded, building muscle all the time.
I've never claimed to be natural, but know far too many people that do when they're not.
At this point, you have probably heard of this whole Liver King fiasco. The guy was so adamant about everyone believing he's natural, he may as well have like tattooed it across his face.
Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these fucking appendages down here, these legs?
Have legs?
Do you see how fucking little my fucking legs are?
But as with many things on the internet, it was too good to be true.
Yes, I've done steroids.
Now, why is that? When people believe they can achieve similar results naturally, it makes them prone to copy the things you're doing with the thought of, if I copy him, I'll look like him.
The problem is people want to believe that this is natural and possible because they would like to be able to do it themselves too. It gives hope for all these, you know, these young kids that have no muscle and they're like, well, if I work out hard, I can gain 50 pounds of muscle too in a couple of years.
People want to follow that person that claims that they're natural because it gives, you know, the average lifter, the person that doesn't want to do the gear and steroids, hope that they can achieve that physique naturally.
When people lie about not taking performance-enhancing drugs when they actually are, it gives people a false sense of how good they actually can be.
This is where the financial opportunity opens up for influencers. Their audience believing they can look like them by copying them while staying 100% natural are much more likely to buy something from them. whether it's a certain supplement,
Honestly guys, you really need to try it because
training and dieting program,
So this workout is part of my 2-week shredding program to help you get closer to that defined abs.
or a certain product. People are ready to make the purchase if it means they can get to their dream outcome. Dream outcome which has heavily been influenced by the norms on social media.
Whether it be buying the products these guys promote, like supplements or fucking duck eggs, or trying to emulate the training styles of some of these guys because you think if I work out like them, I might end up looking like them.
These same influencers enrich their lives by promoting and selling you their diet and training plans, making it seem naturally attainable to reach their chemically enhanced physiques when it's not.
Now, using PEDs in secret may also have come from a desire for fame and clout. With the hyper-competitive nature of social media promoting only the best, not only do you need ridiculous genetics and hard work, but also PEDs in any shape or form. And the ones that do belong to the elite club, or finally get there, reap all the rewards. Now, influencer marketing and using influential bodybuilders to sell programs and get more attention is nothing new. This could already be seen in the 70s and 80s with magazines featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, promoting the perfect diet to look like Arnold and lose fat forever. When in reality, what really made Arnold Arnold was a combination of freak genetics, work ethic and drugs, not a specific diet. Even a few years ago was a time where people stayed very quiet about steroid use in general. It stayed a taboo subject for very long, and although it did have a positive impact by not promoting any use of PEDs, it came with a mass of influencers using this to their advantage and gave people those completely unrealistic body standards, potentially leading them to purchase a very expensive body transformation course. That was something that had to stop. The lies couldn't keep going. We needed a solution to this ever-increasing problem. 1st of March 2017. This was quite an iconic date for the fitness industry. The first ever Natty or Not released by Kenny KO. Kenny had a purpose, which was to call out the BS in the fitness industry. This would come in the form of calling out people on their non-natural status, otherwise known as Natty or Not, their use of fake weights, and trying to educate people on numbers of subjects. The goal was simple: bringing more awareness about steroid use in the fitness industry.
Welcome guys to another edition of Natty or Not, featuring one of the biggest and most controversial athletes out there, Steve Cook.
Educating people on what influencers often do for financial reasons at the detriment of their audience, and giving people realistic expectations on what is achievable naturally. The Natty or Not video style became a success, with people like Kenny KO, Greg Doucette or More Place More Dates building a majority of their audience by calling out fake naturals.
Does anyone think The Rock is natural and doesn't abuse PEDs? Does anyone think he's only on small doses of HRT?
What's up guys, Derek, moreplacemoredates.com. Today we are going to be going over JJ Watt's transformation.
So is Bradley Martin natural? Just gifted with the best genetics of all time?
This psychological principle is often known as fame jacking, whereby you use a popular personality or celebrity's name in your video to use that familiar and popular face to your own advantage. These Natty or Nots allowed people to not get scammed by some influencers who promise amazing results like they have, which being honest is a great thing.
And so when I do Natty or Nots, I'm educating people. I'm saying based on this blood work, based on the fact he put on this much size this quickly, he couldn't have done it natural.
People got more aware if a certain influencer was natural or not. The person making the video made money from those views and got a lot of attention from talking about a certain person, and the person on which the video was made also got free attention and financial gain. In the end, everybody won.
Do you really think that me making a video about somebody is going to hurt them? I'm getting views, people are watching my videos, and people who watch my videos then go to their channel and say, I want to know more about this guy.
But while it sounds good at first, the prevalence of fake naturals is still increasing day by day. After hundreds of videos calling out people, it seems like steroid use is more popular than ever before. Now, don't get me wrong, calling out people about steroid use is a great thing. This is something that has to keep going forever. But in opening up about steroid use, it started to eliminate the taboo around them, which made them a more open subject to talk about.
I'm not a natural bodybuilder.
While opening up and being more honest about PEDs certainly had a fantastic impact by giving people the realistic expectations and the reality check they needed, it normalized their use to the point where we now have teenagers basing their whole social media page on them taking trend. That's the point where it goes too far. It's very hard to find and keep a balance between staying quiet about them and being open about it. We should be able to set realistic expectations for people by calling out fake naturals, but at the same time, not normalize their use too much, otherwise we end up in a different extreme. In the end, all we can do is stay skeptical of and second guess some of the programs and products some influencers push onto you. Try thinking about their Natty status critically, and don't mistake their level of knowledge with how good they look. Always try to get advice from reliable science-based sources that actually know something about building muscle and losing fat in a proper way.